Okay, so picture this. Way back, like ancient times, there was this kid named David. He wasn't a prince. He wasn't training to be a super soldier. Nope. David was a shepherd. His job? Sheep. Lots and lots of fluffy, sometimes smelly sheep. He lived in a town called Bethlehem. You might have heard of it. David was the youngest of many brothers, and his big brothers, they were actual soldiers. Tough guys, or so they thought. David's days were mostly spent out in the fields. Just him, the sheep, and the big open sky. Sounds boring? Maybe a little. But David kept himself busy. He played the harp. He wrote songs. Pretty cool for a shepherd, huh? He also had to be brave. Wild animals sometimes tried to sneak a sheep snack. Think lions. Think bears. Seriously, David had to protect his flock. He was stronger and braver than he looked. Here's the most important thing about David. He talked to God. A lot. Like they were best buddies. And God listened. David trusted God completely. This wasn't about big muscles or fancy weapons. David's real strength came from his amazing faith. He knew God was with him, whether he was strumming his harp or facing down a hungry wolf. This faith made him super courageous, more than anyone guessed. So while his older brothers were off doing soldier stuff, David was doing shepherd stuff. They probably thought he was just the little guy, good for watching woolly wanderers and not much else. They had no idea what was coming. No clue that their little brother, the musician shepherd boy, was about to step into a story so huge, people would still be talking about it thousands of years. Meanwhile, over in the big leagues, King Saul was having a bad time. A very bad time. He was the king of Israel. Big crown, big responsibilities. And right now, his biggest responsibility was a giant problem. Literally. His whole army, the Israelite army, was camped out on one side of a valley. On the other side, the Philistines. And they had a secret weapon. A not-so-secret, very large weapon. This weapon had a name, Goliath. Goliath of Gath. And when I say giant, I mean giant. He was super tall, like duck under doorways or take the roof off tall. He wore armor that probably weighed more than David's entire flock of sheep. Bronze helmet, a coat of mail like fish scales, and leg guards. He carried a spear so big its shaft was like a weaver's beam. His shield bearer walked in front of him, probably struggling with the weight. Goliath was basically a walking, talking, shouting tank. Every morning and every evening for 40 days, Goliath would stomp out. He'd stand there all huge and scary. Then he'd shout, oh boy did he shout, hey Israelites, scaredy cats, why have a whole battle? Send out one man to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your servants. If I win, you'll be ours. He'd taunt them. He'd make fun of them. He'd even make fun of their God. Not cool, Goliath. Definitely not cool. And the Israelite soldiers? Petrified, terrified, scared out of their sandals. Every time Goliath roared, they'd run and hide a little more. Imagine the toughest guys you know quaking like leaves. That was King Saul's army. No one dared to fight Goliath, not a single soldier. They just listened to him brag and insult them day after day. The whole camp was basically one giant nope, not me festival. Things looked pretty bleak. So, back to David. His dad, Jesse, told him, hey, son, take this food to your brothers at the army camp and see how they're doing. So David, being a good son, packed up some bread and roasted grain. He headed off to the Valley of Elah, where the armies were camped. He arrived just in time to hear Goliath's daily dose of insults. Boom! The giant's voice echoed across the valley. David saw the soldiers scatter. David was like, whoa, hold up. What's going on here? He listened to Goliath's nasty speech. He saw the fear in everyone's eyes, and he was not impressed. In fact, he was pretty annoyed. Who is this Philistine? David asked the soldiers nearby, that he should dare to defy the armies of the living God. He couldn't believe everyone was so scared. This giant was being a massive bully and insulting God too. David wasn't having it. Word got back to King Saul. "There's this kid here, King. He's asking about the giant. He doesn't sound scared." So Saul sent for David. Imagine the scene. Big King Saul probably looking worried sick. And in walks David. Young, not wearing armor, probably still smelling faintly of sheep. Saul looked at him and was like, "You? You want to fight Goliath? You're just a boy." He's been a warrior since he was young. He was trying to be realistic, I guess. But David didn't back down. He told Saul, "Your Majesty, I take care of my father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and stole a sheep, I went after it. I struck it and rescued the sheep. If it turned on me, I grabbed its fur, struck it, and killed it." He explained that the same God who saved him from lions and bears would save him from Goliath. "This Philistine will be like one of them," David said, full of confidence. He didn't want Saul's heavy armor. He had his staff, his... King Saul, probably thinking, "Well, what have we got to lose?" finally said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." So David went. He didn't grab a sword. He didn't strap on a shield. Instead, he walked down to the stream. He picked out 5 smooth stones. Yep, 5. Not 100, just 5. He put them in his shepherd's bag. With his staff in one